Yes, this is the Fire and Ice tournament, everyone, Battle Royale. And it's Paradigm Chess 30, sponsored by DDG, Drop Dead Gorgeous. And so the first board that you see at the top left, uh, which is Ice Queen, Nice Queen versus Super Scary Name. That is, of course, Robin Klaassen versus Vero September. And the games have just started. Let me try to get the second one going. So let's
All
do
the
this.
games are on, Calvin. I'm sort of jumping between them.
Okay, that's good.
So
Maybe you can already just give some indication if there's any action or this. Is everybody starting the same way or what?
well, I think there seems to have been a sort of understanding that you need to get your knights out as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So people are moving their knights, but I think it's probably just when I look at Ice Queen and Scary Name, the two knights are out, and they haven't yet quite figured out where the Dragon Bishop should go. But looks like it started out as a little Sicilian E4 C5, and now they just normally these first few moves is jostling for position and just see where it's going to be. So that's sort of what I see, Calvin, on that board.
Okay, okay. And I've got Robin versus Vero on the board,
Okay,
as everybody can see. Yes.
Calvin, how do you mute our commentary, because we don't want the players to hear?
So just to the players, please, players, you can mute yourselves, mute your computer so that you are not listening to our.
Okay, but now, Calvin, we are not muted, and we are on the same platform on Zoom.
Yes, look, every player individually can mute their computer, so that they can't hear us.
Where can they do that, Calvin?
Just
To mute their computer?
outside your on your main screen, your computer, you can just switch off your audio completely.
Switch off audio completely. Okay.
Okay, let me just try to get the other boards going over here.
Oh, can I also something, coach?
Okay, that's one of our players, Keegan. Yes.
Oh, good on to the list. Please send another invite.
Okay, so we're just trying to sort out our last game over here. Okay, so what I can see right now, I've got Ice Queen versus Super Scary. That's Robin versus Vero. We've got Rose Moon versus Dynamic Duo. That is Khadija Latresh versus Justin Leach. And then the other two boards we need to still sort out. The other two boards are supposed to be, let's see, board 3.
I've got Lance versus Lauren, I think it is.
Yes, Lance versus Lauren.
Yeah, so that game is on. Both the two knights are. We've got white have developed two knights to D3 and G3, and then black has done knight D6 and then set up a little stone wall there around D5, nearly like a Slav, C6, D5, E6, and just clamping down a bit on that side. So, so I think they're just still jostling for squares, but I think that it would be good to get the other game going, Carl.
Yes, I've got all three running now. There's a dummy game here in the bottom right corner. We're still waiting. Is Keegan and Denise's game, did they start already?
I don't know. I don't see it here on my screen.
We will wait for that one. But for now, we've got all the other three boards open. I see here Robin versus Vero. It almost looks like a Sicilian Najdorf or Skavenigan structure. The two knights, what an interesting Sicilian we have here. The knight on E3 and knight on D4. And the other knight on G6. So this is the Sicilian dragon. What do you want to call this? The Dragon Bishop Sicilian.
Yeah. So one is nearly expecting a pawn to F4 at some stage here. and those type of things. But of course, those squares are not protected.
At the moment,
So
yes, it's not.
yeah, at the moment. So maybe an idea, Calvin G3 pawn to F4, and then of course, Black is just determining where the best is to develop her pieces. In fact, both players would be looking to see what would be the best squares. I'm not sure if a Maroxy bind, but pawn to C4 for white.
Was
Uh,
possible,
for,
yes.
for Ice Queen is possible.
But
So that may be an idea.
Robin played Dragon Bishop to C3 instead, developing the Dragon Bishop. Of course, in this type of games, you need to also kind of budget what you're going to do with your queen. The queen is kind of buried on B1 at the moment. But White has lots of options. She can play Dragon to E2 and, I mean, short castle or get the queen out in long castle. Black, on the other hand, still has a bit of thinking to do. Black has got less space. But, okay, interesting start. Everything's still level. And just a reminder to the viewers, it is 15 minutes aside with a 10-second increment. This is the preliminaries. It's the group stages. 4 players in each group. And there will be 3 rounds for the morning. So it's basically a round robin. And the 2 players will qualify through to the semi-finals and finals later this afternoon. So yeah, every game is very important. We have which game shall we switch over to now, Lennon? Rosemoor?
Let's go to Rosemoor. Yeah, let's go to Rosemoor.
So that's WIM Khadija Latresh, of course, the wife of Henry Steele, and she's playing Justin Lynch. And I think Khadija is going for a signature big center over there. I've seen in the previous events, she loves playing C3 and D4 and F3 and E4. But yeah, we see G3 and F4 just like you said, Lennon. So White has got this huge center. What do you prefer? I think Justin went for quick development and castling, or do you go for the big center and a bit delayed development?
I think that is the philosophical debate, Calvin, that you know, in the modern era you have the hypermodernism. And as you will know, in the 1920s, Nimzowitsch, Alekhine, Reti, they all said that you can have the big center, but occupation doesn't mean control. You know, so it's an interesting situation that Black has chosen this one, given the center, and now he's going to play against the center. So it's a nice clash of ideas. I think it all depends on the opening. I actually play the King's Indian and the Benko and these openings, which is of course hypermodern openings. You know,
Yes.
I don't normally play the Slav and the Queen's Gambit, so that's interesting. And then I also see Dr. Queenie's as
I wanted to mention now. Yes, we see a E4, E5 on that board. So, but yes, that's an age-old question. And I mean, you can go way back into history, and the players that came up with these modern, hyper-modern openings at first got ridiculed and got a lot of stick for playing these weird openings. Why do we allow? Wait, that game got aborted or something. Something went wrong in this game. Maybe a disconnection or something. We'll have to check by the players soon.
Which one by Dr. Queenie? Yeah, Dr. Queenie's game has gone off now.
Something went wrong.
I think Keegan may not have a connection there or something.
Yeah. Even though it says black one, I don't know what happened. Let's just see. So we're just trying to ask the players in the group perhaps. Okay, so we'll find out soon what happened in that game. Surely there was just some technical issue. And then so yeah, that's an interesting game. That seems like Justin is absorbing the pressure. But coming to the third game, we have I think that yes, it's WFM Lauren Wallenberg. She won, if I'm not mistaken, the last Paradigm tournament that she played in. Was it 4 Queens? I think so. And so she's of course one would say informed, but okay, these events are so far spread. So let's see if she can continue the form from the last event. And she's playing a newcomer to the playing field, but he's actually in not a new face to the Paradigm Chess 30 family, because he's been a commentator on the show, Lance van Vogel, all the way from Germany. So he's joining us an hour earlier. So seems like an interesting one over here. But black seems to be placing all his pawns on the light squares. Some Slav with the centralized knights, and white's dragon bishops look quite cute on d2 and e2. So
Yeah.
looks a bit more classical.
Yeah. So Dr. Queenie's game just appeared on my screen again, but no game.
So I asked the players in the group. We have a group we communicate with. I'll have to find out what happened over there.
Okay. But I think what Lance is maybe doing here with, I thought if he still gets in pawn to f5, then it's a real stonewall in that sense.
Yes, and with these closed positions, the dragon bishops tend to act more like bishops, and they suffer a bit with space, because essentially the dragon bishops don't jump like knights. They move like Zhangji horses, like in Chinese chess. So you need that space in front of you to go forward and then sideways. It's just one square forward and one diagonally. That's essentially the movement that the dragon bishop makes. It doesn't jump like a knight. So yeah, I'm quite happy to see that all the games are still poised for, it's still balanced and poised for anything, basically. Some excitement. I'm just waiting for some reaction from the players of the fourth board. So what I need to do still, I want to just get the individual boards going. So I'm going to.
There seems to be some movement. There seems to be some movement on the Dr. Queenie board, Calvin.
Oh, okay. Let's check. Let me just double check here. Let's refresh. Aha. Wait. This is the wrong board. Let's see. Dr. Queenie. There we go. Okay, I think they restarted. There we go. So we got the fourth board going as well. And we see the same thing. E4, E5. And then I think knight C3, knight C6 was played. And now knight E3. The knight is so flexible on E3. Looking at D5 and F5. The dragon bishops are entombed there on F1 and G1 for the moment. But happy to say that all the games have started. And still looks kind of level all over. So what do you think of our last position there? Dr. Queenie, of course, WIM, Denise Boa, also another wife on the show. I think we've got like 3 wives on the show, Dr. Boa, because Khadija is of course I Am Steele's wife, Robin Klaasen is my wife, and then Dr. Queenie also your wife. So seems like queens are representing.
Well, and so everybody here is that's the thing about chess. It brings people together, Calvin.
Yes, of course. And we've got a couple of strong bachelors also in the house. We've got Piero and Keegan and Justin. And of course, Lance also happily married there in Germany. So interesting field we have over here. So I'm just going to take my time quickly and check out the individual boards if everything is sorted. Maybe you can maybe describe one of the games for us while I try to.
100%. I'm going to jump to Rose Moon.
Okay.
So Rose Moon versus Dynamic there on that side. And so Dragon Bishop has jumped there to C4. So let's just have a good look. Remember the idea is that Black was playing against the center and Khadija, who's white, was playing with a big center. So let's just have a good look there. So Black has got all his pieces developed. White has got the center and now plays against it. So the center will make a few determined. When does the center go to f5? When does pawn to d5 come for black to open up to take squares? So it's certainly still a jostling of position in this game. And of course now the question comes to, do the two dragon bishops, do they want to exchange each other? We don't know. c4, d2, looking at each other, or goes to c3 just on that side.
And tell me, what is your feeling? I've been asking this question to all my guests that help me with commentating. What is your feeling? Should one get the dragon bishops out early, or should you try to keep them indoors like the queen? I mean, traditionally the queens are also very valuable, so one would say tell the youngsters don't get out your queen early. Does that apply to the dragon bishops, or should you get them out? What is your feeling?
You know, Calvin, I think it's a strategy that the individual players would have decided upon beforehand. What I noticed with some of the games that I saw Henry Steele and Watu Kobese then play, sometimes they would exchange those dragon bishops early and then play a normal game because that is their strength.
Yes.
So others again, depending on who they are, will enjoy the creativity of setting new problems for the opponent. So I think the more experience you get, the more complication or problems you'd want to set for your opponent. And so I think it depends on the player. Some players will decide that they're not yet experienced enough and they will want to do something else. Others again will want to use the energy of the dragon bishops to actually keep it on the board for some time. So I think that is my sort of impression of them, because Khadija in this game is playing, let's call it, taking squares away from the black pieces, and so she's trying to suffocate that one. So that is my sort of brief analysis on Khadija and Justin.
Yes, and I think that's quite true. And I think I mean, we are so early in the early stages of the development of this game. I mean, it is chess to a large degree, but also these things, these philosophical clashes we've been talking about, like development and big center and so on. Now also, should you get your dragon bishops out or not? How comfortable you are with this and that? I think more games, more and more experience will give a better judgment of that. But for now, it's just instinct and yeah, basically your dragon bishop talent to see what to do basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got the boards individually sorted. Let me just try to get everybody's screens also on. But is there anybody that seems to be in charge, or we still level?
I'm looking. I've gone to Dr. Queenie. They just started. They're developing their pieces. They're just sort of feeling on the board there. I don't see anybody. They both castled queenside. Dr. Queenie and Keegan. They both castled on the queen side. So getting their pieces into the game quickly on that side. But nobody's yet in charge in that game.
Okay.
And the interesting one is Ice Queen. That maybe you can look at give your attention there. Some interesting, Calvin, maybe you can analyze that one, because it seems to be I'm not sure if white is a piece up.
Actually, we're going to the individual board here. We've got Ice Queen, aka Robin, versus Vera over there, super scary. And yeah, we've got the individual board enlarged here. I think I've got the second one as well going. We'll get to the others as well. So what's happening over here? The double pawns is immediately what stands out for me. But okay, white also has the big center. But okay, now I realize Vero has a dragon bishop. So it seems like an exchange that has gone on here. Dragon bishop for 2 knights. And pawns, what's happening is white 1 pawn up, 1 double pawn up. So 1 pawn and 2 knights for dragon bishop. Is that a fair trade?
Well, even though those pawns are doubled, e4 and f4 still controls a number of good squares.
You could even go e5 or f5.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering now if at some stage she would have to play c3. I know it allows pawn to b4, but
But I kind of like this e5 idea because the knights, as soon as they get these outposts, I think there was a game in the previous events that Henry played against Watu where Henry sacked his dragon bishop for 2 knights. And the 2 knights can be, I mean, the dragon bishop can be sometimes very, very, how shall I say, impotent versus the 2 knights. Because as soon as one guy gets a outpost, dragon can't sacrifice himself or give himself up for one of them. Who's gonna get rid
yes,
of the knights, basically? So,
yes, that's the thing. No, I think you're right there. Pawn to e5 would certainly create immediate complications, and also allow the knight, any of those 2 knights at some stage to go to d4 once there's an exchange on e5, and then of course that relieves the pressure a bit.
yes. So that's seems like it's got a promising dynamic for us to look at. And I've got yes, any other ideas? I've got I
No,
think Justin and Khadija's game already here as well.
yeah, let's go to that one. I'm fine with it to go there to Rosemoon, eh? Yeah.
Yes, Rosemoon and Dynamic Duo. Who any Batman fans should know that name, Dynamic Duo. But okay, let's switch over to. We've got Rosemoon versus Dynamic Duo, Khadija versus Justin. A lot of dragon bishops in the air. You just see wings.
Yeah, I'm looking at c4, b4, d2.
But I mean, Justin has not reestablished, but established the center as well. He's taken some stake at the center. So it seems like a type of French with no bad bishops. So those dragon bishops on d2 and f2 look more passive than Black's dragon bishops at the moment. So I think that Justin kind of got what he wanted from the opening. But of course, still a lot of potential in both sides if White can get f5 at some point, but it doesn't seem likely now. So
Calvin, I was now looking at g4 and f5.
Somehow White needs to create something on that side.
Yeah, because I mean g4, f5 is just to create that pressure. Otherwise, Black is going to be playing on the queen side alone.
Yes, exactly. So I think okay, but I mean, Justin has spent a lot of time, so maybe this is the moment where Khadija must also maybe take some time to think out the proper way to act swiftly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to get Lance and Lauren on here. Shouldn't take too long anymore, and we'll have all the games. Also Denise and Keegan. So almost done, guys. And we can look at the other boards individually as well. Okay. So maybe what I should do in the meantime is just show all 4 boards to everyone.
Sure.
What I should do, yeah, let's go back to the 4 screens, and I'll just sort out that last few visuals. Okay. And is this Denise's first Paradigm tournament, or is it the second one?
No, it's her first one. She's never played this tournament.
All right, so, and who else? Keegan, it's his first, I think. And Lance, of course, is also a first-time player. He's been a commentator, but and Vero as well. Vero, of course, also one of our usual commentators on the channel. So okay, so now just the last board I'm going to sort out, and then we can actually have a look at the individual boards again.
So in the Dr. Queenie and Keegan game, I see
Yeah.
Keegan is having some ideas on of opening up the diagonal there to a2.
Okay. Just a moment. I'm going to join you on that one now. Okay. So let's go to that board over there. We've got Dr. Queenie versus Keegan Chang over there. That's Denise Boa versus Keegan Gullis. And yeah, so what did you say? Knight C7 played by
Yeah,
Black?
sort of trying to push that black pawn to d4 and open the diagonal to a2.
Aha. A dragon bishop on g8 lurking around over there, yes. So Black seems to have the center. The dragon bishop on g1 doesn't seem nice. So Dr. Queen has got some maybe she should play d4. What do you think? Just to block
Yeah.
things, to stall and just try to delay matters so that the development can catch up a bit. Because the black center looks very threatening at the moment.
Well, she's opted for queen b3 now.
Queen b3. I thought queen b3 is already on the board. Yeah, she played dragon to e2 now.
Okay, so mine is just maybe a bit slower, but that's fine.
Yes.
So
dragon e2. I was wondering about pawn to d4, but Keegan has played dragon to c5 quickly, hitting the queen on b3. So you have some scenarios where you can actually give your queen for a dragon and something, but at the moment it doesn't seem feasible to give up the queen just for dragon bishop at the moment. So Denise plays back to c2, queen c2. And black has got a lot of space here, so there's some danger that white needs to look out for. Pawn to d4, white could maybe respond with knight c4 or something, but definitely some potential for a lot of play here. And I would try to get in d4 quickly.
Yeah, no, you're right. And knight b5 is coming at some stage. So now Denise has got some defending to do, Dr. Queenie, on that side. But let's just go to ice queen quickly, Calvin, because there seems to be some action.
Okay. So what's happening here? The two knights are dancing, but what's happening here? One is dropped, and whoa, the dragon on h1 is not undefended. I thought rook takes h1 is possible. Seems like Vero is just way ahead here, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks like it.
So it seems like ice queen is in big trouble over here. There's a pawn on d6, but the black can just hide on b8 or a8. So I don't see any big problems for Vero at the moment. And
interesting. But pawn to d7 is check.
But okay, why not just rook takes?
The rook on h8 is undefended.
Okay. There's little something. Pawn to f5 was played though. Pawn to d7, what would have happened? King b8?
Well,
I can't see too much happening though.
Yeah.
It seems like Vero is off to a very nice start here.
No, I think he's got everything under control.
Yes, using his dragon bishop's fire to tame the ice queen. So I think Vero is definitely in a winning position. Whose game did we not check out yet? Is it perhaps Lauren and Lance?
Lauren and Lance, yeah.
Yes. So we still have this closed-like position. Lance going for h5, h4 in this structure. Trying something
and
interesting.
a5 and a5.
a5. Did he just play a5? I don't see a5.
No, I'm in the game. There's a pawn on a5 and h4. So Lance seems to be using the Bent Larsen tactics of attacking with the rook pawns.
Aha. Okay, I must just check it if my game is. Oh, there I see it. Okay, it has just updated. So there I see the pawn on a5 as well. Lauren striking with e4. Finally, some pawns clash in this game. think that's the first time the pawns clashed. White has a nice knight on c5, but it's bound to get traded off. I think White probably wants to go for that diagonal, the a1, h8, if the trade happens. But
Calvin,
okay.
that bishop on h7 there, what is your take on that dragon bishop on h7?
Look, usually if it was a bishop, I would say it's ugly, but I mean, it can easily go to f6 or g5 in one go, dragon bishop. So it's got some hidden. It might be more poisonous than you think, or one can fall asleep and not notice it. So there's some potential with it over there at least. So okay, these both players are playing quite hard, but am I correct looking at the time control? It seems like it's both players are in about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, less than that now actually.
Yeah.
Lance is on 39 seconds over here.
So I think a lot of time seems to be spent on maneuvering, eh?
Yes.
Let's go to Rosemoon again.
Let's go to Rosemoon. That's board 2. Yeah, okay. We've got the Rosemoon. And it seems like the queenside play has kind of disappeared.
Yeah, but now there's a lovely square on d5 and even potentially f5 that is looming there, because you could also put a bishop, that dragon bishop on c6 in later variations to look at that light square diagonal that seems weak, eh?
Yes, so the light squares seem to be nice there for black to utilize. Even though Khadija just played knight c3, she's aiming for e4, knight e4, and that d6 is a huge outpost for white. So Justin also going down on the clock. Yeah, he's almost at 30 seconds. Khadija is on 3 minutes. So Justin needs to pick up the pace over here.
Yeah. Calvin, if I'm not mistaken, Khadija's dragon bishop on f2 hasn't moved.
Hasn't moved for a long time, eh? I think I had to have moved once, but besides that, she hasn't. I mean, both players haven't been going all out with the bishops. But Justin's bishops went forward though. That one must have gone back. So yeah, no. This one seems interesting. Queen c6 just played. Justin, you can see him slightly physically showing that he's feeling the time pressure. But let's see. Let's go back to the 4 board view. And we've got all 4 boards in front of us. Scariest name seems in charge over there. Justin. Okay, finally Khadija moved her dragon to e4, and the queen had to move. I think I would prefer white. Whoa, okay, I missed that the queen actually hits d4 and pins, so Khadija actually just drops back to f2 with the dragon bishop. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. And Lauren versus Lance. That's quite a tight position still, with the position quite blocked. Let's just check here if I'm not missing an update on these games. That one seemed to be stalling. Okay, pawn to h3 played there by Lance. Lance mixing it up with the h pawn. The knight on f5 also looks good. Very complicated game over there. And then Dr. Queenie versus Keegan. What's been happening? The king is on a1. King seems quite safe compared to earlier on. There was some potential. So
yeah, the king has found a hidden corner there, Calvin.
Aha. And I think we have a result here already. So I think Robin resigned and Vero scores the first victory there of the tournament. And just a reminder to the players, I hope they remember that they should not exit.
Calvin, was Vero there without his music getting the point?
Not sure actually, probably. So well done to Vero over there. Tough luck to Robin. And we have a result already on that side. So coming back to Dr. Queenie's game over here against Keegan. Seems like she's not bothered at all to play d4. Maybe that's not part of a strategy at all. So she's gone b4, which is, I'm assuming she pushed back the attack with pawn to b4. Dragon bishop is
Yeah.
on b3, rook on b1. I don't see a mate at all now, so it's actually a game. And things might shift back to the center with black's rooks in the center. D8 and C8. Again,
Yeah.
this D4 clash, either black or white should play D4, I feel.
At some stage, yeah, I think they maybe a rook H to D1 should come into reckoning now or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure on D5, eh? I mean, there's a lot of everything is looking at D5, and black is sort of needs to keep that going there.
And in fact, Keegan plays E4. So he wants that D file open. But can Denise perhaps not just drop back? Maybe dragon to E2. Or is black gonna go D4 and just smash everything open? Things are I think they're gonna get volatile pretty soon. I think things okay, Denise drops back. Dragon E2.
Yeah.
And the big question, can black play D4 here perhaps? And just try to crack everything open while he's ahead in development, so to speak, with the rooks.
Yeah. No,
he
Keegan is a very tactical player. Very tactical player. What's the time pressure like, Calvin?
It's about level. Both sides have approximately 7 minutes. So D4 was played,
Okay.
and Dr. Queen, not wasting too much time. I think it's maybe a good idea just to practically speaking, get black to not go too much ahead on the clock. You can so easily just go into a deep think over there. But knight c4 played quickly, hitting the queen. Okay, so I see pawn takes c3, queen takes c3. Wait, what am I talking about? The queen on b6 is hanging. So
yeah, queen is hanging there. Yeah.
So black's first needs to sort that out. I like knight c4 actually. So things are heating up in that game. Coming back to, let's see, who else can we have a look at?
Rosemoon looks like they're having an interesting position there.
Okay, I heard someone. Okay, no, I think I might have heard your computer or something. I thought another result was in, but yes, Rosemoon finally plays g4. She's got a countable dragon on e4. But what happened to Rosemoon's knight though?
Yeah. The knight disappeared now.
So there's a knight. Oh, and the knight on e7 is just gonna lock everything, basically, for Justin. There's no f5 coming, unless there's some immediate mate, because you're not gonna want to give up your dragon for that knight at all. So somehow, oh, f5 played. Pardon me, f5 played. So okay, I think practically speaking, white probably needs to go all out. Takes on f5.
Yes.
Are we gonna see knight f5, dragon f5, g takes? But remember, the queen on a6 can still swing around. There's no perpetual.
Yeah.
And even the dragon on e8 can go to g7 to protect the king. So it seems like Khadija lost the thread over there early on, and she's desperately looking for counterplay now. So it seems like Justin is in control over there. Khadija also one of the more experienced players that has performed quite well in the previous tournaments. So this looks good for Justin to have a good result looming. But we'll see if he can withstand the pressure.
Calvin, it looks like Lauren's game is no longer on screen, eh?
Let's see. Yes, that's what I'd heard. I thought I heard some results. So that one was delayed somehow. I didn't. The clocks were constantly. Not moving. So it seems like Lance won over there. Black won. Let's see if we can see what happened. So this was the final position. Let's check here. Which board is this? Board 3. Final position. I think Lauren perhaps just lost on time over here. Because material seems level.
Yeah, but she was
position
playing
is
the
so
whole
close.
game. Yeah, she was playing the whole game in a sort of maneuvering.
Yeah, I think it was just who can outmaneuver who can outmaneuver the longest in this game. There's nothing special was happening for both sides. So I think that, like you said, Lance is maneuvering with his H pawn and A pawn, kind of just got his opponent thinking, at least. So tough luck there to what was the four queens champion, I think. So she needs to bounce back in the next game. Tough one to Lauren and Lance, starting off with a flyer. Okay, who else do we have here? I want to go back to this Dr. Queenie versus Keegan game here, and lots of pieces on the queen side. And white has got an extra central pawn, but black has got more cover for his king. So seems slightly awkward for white now with the king on a1. But is there anything happening? The c3 square looks slightly fragile.
Yeah, that diagonal also looks fragile, actually, the A1, AH diagonal. Question is, what can be done?
Keegan on 5 minutes. Denise is on 6 minutes. So Denise has been, I would say, putting her opponent, keeping her opponent on his toes clockwise, not allowing black to settle in.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's interesting.
Exchange.
Yeah, she skipped the composure. She hasn't gone down a pawn or anything like that.
Yes.
And because we know Keegan is a very tactical player, and Denise, of course, 7-time Olympian player for South Africa.
Whoa, rook takes knight. What is happening? Rook takes knight. Did he sacrifice an exchange here? Rook takes knight. So dragon e2 takes c3. Then what? Okay, Denise plays dragon bishop on b3 takes c4. Takes on c4. If you play dragon takes c4, what's going to happen now? Oh, there's mate on a. Oh, no, there's not a mate on a2. The dragon on c4 covers a2. Oh my, what? Dragon c2 with a fork. And this is not over though, because the queen on e3 is protected. So if the king moves, dragon takes e3, takes on e3, we have rook and dragon, bishop versus queen and knight. What an interesting. What did I miss something? Why did Dr. Queenie resign? Dragon takes e3 and resign. So I'm not sure. I thought that would still be at least a fight. Dragon bishop and rook versus queen and knight.
Yeah, maybe she just felt that wasn't worth playing on, Calvin.
Okay, let's just check what other games are still left. But that seems a bit okay. It's just Lance and Lawrence also done. So all the games are done basically, and that's the results, guys. We have let's see, Vero beating Robin with Vero with the black pieces over there in round 1. And what happened to Justin? Justin white won actually. Let's check that game. We actually missed that one. Khadija. Let's just see over here. Just do a quick recap here. Just want to see this one because we missed. So if we go back, because we saw f5 happening. I think we saw rook f1, knight takes f5, rook f1, knight g7, d5, and the center pawns looked dangerous. f5 play takes knight h5. I think Justin just missed that f6 was covered a couple of times, so he blundered his knight back all of a sudden. Yeah, so Justin missed a dragon tactic over there. Khadija, of course, very experienced with his dragon tactics. So yeah, so Khadija won over there. Vero won. Lance won on time there against Lauren, and Denise, it seemed like she resigned a bit early. I don't know if I missed anything over there. So Keegan also won his first game. So that's it for now. Okay, guys, we are back, and some interesting results and games that were played in the first round. And the players, I think, are just starting right now. So let me just sort out these boards again. So board 1. Let's see. Let's get board 1 going. Who shall we make board one? We can do Lance with the white pieces versus Dr. Queenie. That's our board one for now. Let's see our board two. We have Rose Moon versus Scary Nine versus Rose Moon. That's Vero versus Khadija. Board three. We have Keegan versus Lauren on board three. And then board four. We have Robin versus Justin. So there's our four boards. I'll try to sort out the individual boards in just a moment, but yes, we are off early stages. And board one, Lance versus Denise. So Lance started with a victory. Denise maybe resigned a bit prematurely there in that game, but Keegan did have some tactics going. But okay, here we see Lance continuing with the Larson effect, going B3 and Dragon to B2. And I don't know if Lance has been studying Ben Larson's games recently. But let's see if Dr. Queenie responds in the classical way. B5 played C5.
So Calvin, it must be that European influence there. When you start staying there, then you start playing there as well. But no, look, I think there's been some grandmasters who's been playing this recently, and take the early diagonal. I think the players sort of identify the weak points, and G7 and G2 are now nominally weak, because at some stage that queens have to move there from G8 and G1.
Yes.
So I think they're probably sort of zooming in on those weaknesses as quickly as possible.
Well spotted. Yeah, I think Black in that position might have to play F6 at some point, I guess.
Yes,
Queen
you
F7,
got to blunt
something like that.
You got to blunt the diagonal. Yeah.
Yes.
Now I would also go F6 and E5 at some stage, and just to give yourself the squares to have the ability to jump to E6, because I mean the knight on F8 needs to go to G6 probably, and then the knight on D8 wants to go to C6 or E6. But you also have Dovetsky telling you that you've got to be careful of the superfluous piece, where two pieces want to go on the same square.
Yes, indeed. And you have a lot of that, especially in these jumbled up positions at the start, where you have to sort that out. So interesting start. I like Dr. Queenie's approach, though, very classically playing with the center. And we'll see that clash again with development versus the central control, early central control. So next one we have Vero versus Khadija. Vero's got the center. It looks like a Karukan type structure. B4 and E4 on the board, the knights developed. Black doesn't have any knights or anything developed, just a dragon bishop on B6. I tend to like white immediately with just with the development. H6 probably Khadija is aiming for dragon A7. So she's looking at developing a dragons first.
Yeah. I suppose players have chosen strategies, and she spotted maybe that the pawn on E4 may become a weakness because of the potential pin or the queen on that side. So creating some tension. I mean, nothing wrong with that, Calvin, creating some tension on that side. And maybe she studied that classical game of Rubinstein, A6, Queen B8, Queen A7.
Yes, indeed. So I mean, she's maneuvering and putting pressure. So I think everything to play for in that one. Maybe just Black needs to find out what to do with that D8 knight. That's maybe the only thing that Black needs to figure out. But besides that, logical development. Okay, interesting stuff. And then the next game, Keegan versus Lauren. We see Keegan opting for a hippopotamus setup over here. Okay, I mean, he doesn't have G3 and B3 in yet, but very, very, how shall I say, slow here by white. And this structure, Lyndon, sorry, I just want to add here, this structure reminds me of one of my earliest games, or I think it was maybe my first open tournament or second or something, where I saw the likes of Iron Peterson Mr. Peterson playing this E3 and D3 and G3 and B3, and using it to great effect actually. So okay, I see Keegan eventually playing E4. So that's what I saw Mr. Peterson do, just to get the youngsters out of their theory, of course. But yeah.
Yes. No, I think that the other thing I wanted to say is that you know, sometimes these players nowadays, they I want to use the word lull, Lull. They play something slow, but actually they're just waiting for you to make one mistake, one small positional mistake, and then they come for you.
Yes.
And you know, Keegan is just knight c3, knight f3 are normal moves, queen e2. So he's not just he's just disguising whatever he wants to disguise, because I think that you know, if you play a3, bishop a2, you probably have a normal position.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
with those bishops, and a normal position even on the chessboard. But I think Keegan is a wily player. I think he's a dark horse in this tournament.
Yes, and I mean he started off with a victory, and Lauren, which I would assume was one of the favorites from the start, has started off with a loss against Lance, and we'll have to see how Lauren handles this. She needs to bounce back to stay in contention to qualify to go through, because of course we only have 3 games in this group stage, 4 players to go through. So I would assume you need at least 1.5 points to be in contention to go through. So
Yes.
2 losses would immediately throw you out. So Lauren, at the moment, she knows she needs to get a result. Keegan, on the other hand, might be playing a bit more freely, scoring a victory after round 1 and also being a newcomer. So interesting game. It kind of reminds me of some Caro-Kann, but without G3 and Bishop G2. Those slow setups that White usually plays against the Caro-Kann. But everything in the balance over there. And if we move on to the next one, we have Justin versus Robin. And we have an F4 and an F6 structure over there. We don't see that a lot. So Justin going for some King's Gambit, or Dragon Bishop Gambit rather. Position over here doesn't seem like a gambit at this point. But the 2 knights for black on c6 and b6. Whites on e2 and c3. So both players are opting to get the knights on normal looking squares immediately, and then maybe sort out the dragon bishops afterwards. Do we see both sides long castling here?
Yeah, I think, Calvin, the one point that I wanted to make was that if White decides to play pawn to d3, then that knight on b6 would have some questions, because there wouldn't be a square for that knight to jump to, except to maybe jump back to d7 and orientate itself to c5.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you know, these early stages of the game, you've got to think very carefully about your piece placement.
Yes, indeed. I think the early stages, you are almost recommended to spend a bit more time, especially if you have the black pieces. I feel like it's a bit more difficult for black to sort yourself out, because I mean white has a bit of a more free hand to take space and so on. And if you run out of space early on and you can't maneuver your pieces you want to, you can get into trouble very early on. So we actually saw that in the previous tournament that the ladies participated. I think it was the 4 Queens, where the ladies spent a lot of time in the open.
Yeah.
So yeah, the players seem to be a bit more relaxed. Maybe it's getting a bit more normal for us all to use the dragon bishops. But I'm happy to see that the positions are level as well. No early fatalities. So we're gonna switch over to some individual boards soon, guys. And
sure.
In the meantime, I'm just gonna sort out everything very quickly. Okay. So tell me, Lyndon, have you tested out the game? Have you played it at home? Maybe a practice run against the niece or not?
No. She played some practice games, I think, with Lorenzo one evening, until his connection went after 30 minutes. So they played some practice games, and I think she also watched some of your YouTube commentaries.
That's what I also recommended to some players just to get a feel for the game.
Yeah, no, I thought it's best if she goes directly to source. And so I think last night we also, I think I watched the Kobese Steel game. There was one or two games played in the last tournament,
Yes.
and then we sort of watched that game just to get a feel for that. So I think that is probably much more important than me trying to play some weird games.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, but everybody you need to play practical chess in order to just get a feel for it.
Yes. Yes. Of course. So yeah, we'll have to see the newcomers how much they can get out of this. So we've seen in the previous events where newcomers actually do well. We'll see the experienced players. Who are the experienced players in this event? Of course, Lauren is a former champion. Khadija also has played in quite a few of these events. Robin has also played in a couple, I think. This might be a second or third.
And won't the commentators also count as someone with experience?
No, definitely. I think so. I think that's why Lance can at least hold his own for now. But okay, it's early stages.
Yeah.
I actually don't want to do a commentator's curse yet.
Yes. So Calvin, let's. I'm just looking at Scary Name versus Khadija, and Khadija playing F5 and forcing them to make some decisions here in life.
Scary Name and Khadija. Okay, I'll be there in just a moment. I'm almost done with all the games.
No problem.
Okay. So Scariest Name and Khadija. Which board is that? That is board 2. Okay, so let's have a look. So Scariest Name, board 2. Here we go. So we've got the individual board running. So you say F5 was played over here, and the knight needs to make a decision on G4. G4. Looks like a position filled with tension over here. E4, of course, under pressure. Knight E5 just played. And okay, that D8 knight. I mean, I spoke about that D8 knight early on, and that's why Khadija probably pushed it so that it can eventually go to F7. So that's what I can imagine will happen to that knight. We can see.
Can't you?
Yeah.
But can't you just exchange on E5 and then exchange dragon bishops, and then I'm not sure if E4 will be a bit loose.
Maybe FE, the F file will be open. White will be forced to look at queen side for castling. And with A4 already played and stuff like Queen B4 already there, I don't know. Looks like black might have something here.
Yeah, I actually in my head now I've got knight takes E5, pawn takes bishop, dragon bishop takes on E3, queen takes,
E3.
And then let's say you just play FE, DE, knight takes, and then you could go bishop takes knight, and then queen B4 check, queen B4 check.
Ah, yes, queen B4 check. Is knight C3 not possible?
No, well.
I mean, if bishop takes knight, then queen takes, then the queen is covering B4.
All right, so just
but queen B4 check, knight C3, and then queen B2. Things are collapsing.
Yeah.
Seems like a forcing situation over there. But I mean, after let's say DE or FE, and DE, I don't think white should take on E4. White should just leave it and castle or something like that. Castle long, of course. So I think we're gonna see some dynamics in that game. And Khadija is pondering this. She's got 7.5 minutes. Vero's got 10.5 minutes. So Vero is just posing that question over there. What game are we looking at next?
Sure.
Let's see. Which one would you
Keegan?
propose?
Keegan, his game.
Keegan is on board 3. Let's see. So Keegan versus Lauren. And we see a black pawn on d4. Dragon g4 just played. I don't know if the dragon captured something or not. But the queen.
No, the dragon just moved. Dragon just moved there.
Uh-huh. Knight
You
on
see,
d1
Lauren had
looks
played.
awkward, eh?
Yeah, Lauren had played knight d4, and that forced knight takes d4, e5 takes d4, opening the diagonal to h2.
Ooh, what's happening here? f3 dragon
Yeah.
takes h2. Oh, the other dragon is on b8. Oh no.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Lauren catching Keegan with the tactics here. And Keegan
Yeah.
in big trouble. Open king like this means big trouble. Like these paradigm chess 30 positions. Once you grab the initiative, it's
Yeah,
gonna be over.
Calvin, I actually foresee here bishop takes h2, check, and then the bishop moves, and then knight takes e4, queen h4, check type things
Whoa.
in the air.
Okay, I see what you mean. I think you're a bit delayed there because knight h5 was played though after king h1. But I like that idea of playing knight e4 and queen h4. Like a king's
Yeah.
type of sack, just give away the knight to get the queen in.
Yeah.
But this also looks, I mean, this looks just dead here for what? Knight g3, queen is hanging.
Everything is hanging.
Actually, I've got Lance here instead of Lauren. Let's just fix that one. Let's fix that one. It's not Lance over there, guys. It should be Lauren.
Mm.
But besides that, Lauren is playing good paradigm chess.
Yeah,
Because,
no.
Keegan is
I
the
think
one
so.
that goes for tactics, but he's been caught out here.
Yes, I think that he didn't realize how quickly that the black pieces can jump into the game actually, because when I saw the position for the first time with that knight d4, I realized it was a good move from Lauren. The knight d4 forcing the exchange.
Queen d2 played there, and yeah, it doesn't seem good for for Keegan over there. What game are we looking at next?
But isn't this just all over now, Calvin, with knight g3 check?
Well, Lauren went queen h4, knight g3, then king takes h2 was still possible.
And then knight takes a rook check, and then knight takes queen.
Ah, okay, that would have been also pretty smart. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if Lauren's going for mate. She wants to play knight g3 mate.
Oh,
So she's not interested in material things. She just needs mate. That's basically it. So the
but
dragon.
yeah, it's all over now, isn't it?
It seems like it's all over.
There's 4 black pieces attacking that white king.
Wow. So yeah, no, a swift attack there by Lauren, and it seems like it's over there. Queen g5 desperately played, but knight g3 is coming anyway, right?
Yeah, isn't knight g3 just over?
Knight g3 is coming. There it comes, and so we see the smile there by Lauren. She knows it's over, and Keegan also accepts defeat there, I think. So I don't know if we are delayed here, or he's still maybe just taking his time to resign. But let's switch over to another game in the meantime. That's over.
Sure.
Well done to Lauren.
Yeah.
And here we have Justin versus Robin. I think Keegan just resigned over there, so Lauren is on the scoreboard. Keegan gets his first loss of the tournament. Okay, lots happening over here. Justin just castled short. And yeah, lots of dynamics potentially happening here as well. Pawn to d4. Does black have enough time to play queen d7 in long castle, or should black also opt for short castling? Bungie in the chat says standings. So we don't have visual standings, but what I can say is that in the first round, Keegan beat Denise. So Keegan is on 1 point. Lauren lost her first game against Lance. So Lauren is on 1 point now after the second game as well. And Lance is busy playing Denise right now. Lance is on 1 point, of course. Denise lost to Keegan, yeah. So Denise is still on 0, but she's playing. And Robin lost to Vero. So Vero is on 1. And who else do we have over here? Khadija is also on 1. Khadija was a piece down against Justin, but managed to attack him till the point where he blundered back the piece and eventually won nicely. So Khadija is on 1. Justin is on 0. So, okay, lots of things still happening here in the Justin versus Ice Queen. Justin versus Robin. I think we should go back to Denise's game as well. Let's see what happened here with Lance and Denise. So Lance has built up a diagonal of note there on A1 to H8 with those dragon bishops. And he's managed to long. So who needs pawns for defense when you can put 5 pieces around your king? So that's Lance over there. Denise still keeping it flexible, but surely she will. I mean, maybe she was just delaying castling with those dragon bishops beaming down there, down the diagonal. Might see 4 played. And Lance is still working at that diagonal somehow. What should Black do over here? Dragon bishop is threatened as well.
But can't you just exchange the knights and exchange the knights and then plant your other knight on E5?
Takes, yeah, maybe E5, and eventually, I mean, yes, takes on C4 happened. Eventually, Black should probably play F6.
Yeah. I mean, you can even play F6 immediately after.
But
in fact, you can play F6. In fact, knight takes and then F6.
Okay, but the thing is, will White be able to go G4 and G5 with that 2 dragon bishops? I mean, Black is not long castling surely. It's not happening. So seems to be some potential on the diagonal. And D takes C4 means that D5 square is potentially up for grabs. But you see the knight on C2 is covering D4 and B4. So if Lance goes for the D5 square, maybe knight E3, then Black gets the D4 square. You might see some exchange sacrifices happening in this game. I'm just a bit worried about Black's king right now.
What about the dragon bishop just dropping back to C7 to keep the outpost on E5?
Yes. Wait, but G7 is hanging immediately, right? So, but can't we just go dragon E5 instead of knight E5?
Yeah.
Maybe just to get 1 dragon bishop off the board at least, and then the diagonal won't be that sensitive.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think things are also bound to heat up in this game. I like where this is going. There's action all over. Let's go back to the 4 board visuals. Just by the way, guys, a reminder or just the update, Lauren beat Keegan in a quick attack in the middle game. So Lauren is on 1 out of 2. Keegan is also on 1 out of 2. So we have three group stage games. Only 2 players from each group qualifies. We've got 4 players per group. 2 goes through to the semi-finals this afternoon. Okay, so the Lance and Dr. Queen has got an interesting game. Dr. Queen did in fact play dragon to E5. And if we look at the other games, let's see, Rose Moon is playing Justin, and there's also a lot of dragons in the air over there. And Justin, wait a minute. Wait, Vero is playing Rose Moon, sorry. Vero is playing Rose Moon. Rose Moon goes G5. Looks like Rose Moon likes pushing the G pawn. And she's pushing the dragon bishops back. And just glancing at the Justin versus Robin game. Yeah, all the games are quite poised right now. There's lots of pieces in the center. And
yeah, it's early days.
Yes.
It's early days, you know. So I think they was after G5 was the dragon bishop went to H5.
Yes, dragon to H5. Shall we have a look at that one quickly? Let's go zoom into that one. And dragon to H5. I mean, the pawns look nice. On the other hand, do you want your king to be open like that? Or do you want your king to be like Vero's king at the moment? But on the other hand, I don't see much happening though. Can White do anything at the moment, attacking wise? White is gonna have to soften up the position somehow, h4 or g4 himself. Maybe g4 is a key move over there.
I'm Calvin. I would, if I'm black now, I was thinking about dragon bishop c7.
c7 just to neutralize the e5 bishop.
The e5 is the best square, but then you got to watch out for queen c4 check again.
Queen c4 check, yes. Ooh. Okay. Yes, that's something that black definitely needs to keep an eye on. What about dragon f6 then? Maybe dragon f6 instead, trying to get rid of the bishop in that way and creating a square for your king to h7 if need be.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you got to cover d5. I mean, you've got to be able to plant something on d5.
So yeah, everything is hanging on a string here for both sides. Things can happen. These games are so sharp. And time-wise, Khadija's almost on 3.5 minutes. She's slightly under pressure. Vero is the type of customer he usually plays fast whenever he can. He's on 6.5 minutes. So yeah, I think that's gonna produce some sparks soon. Let's see who else can we go on to next. I think who can we check out? Who do you propose we check out?
Well, Lance has just played queen e3.
Queen e3, and I see dragon takes c3 was played now. So are we gonna see an endgame? Queens might come off. Are we gonna see? Yep, we see queen takes queen, and we are gonna see a dragon endgame, guys. King takes e7. Dragon takes c3. And okay, all of a sudden, if you don't think of the dynamics, I mean, black's pawn structure looks much better at the moment. But the question is, we've even seen in previous tournaments that the dynamics there's still a lot of potential for dynamics with a dragon bishop on the board. So it's not as static as the normal chess positions. As soon as those dragon bishops get off the board, I would instantly prefer black. With the dragon bishop still on the board, you need to watch out for a king that's open.
Calvin, do you? Yeah, I was thinking of f6 or something, but
f6 was played. F6 was just played. Maybe knight e3 is on the cards now. That's the problem. The king and the dragon bishop. So knight e3, probably king f7 or something like this is needed. Lance is low on the clock though. He's on almost a minute left. So Denise also putting opponents under pressure on the clock. And yes, this also promises to be a good finish. Let's see. I think we still need to look at zoom into Justin versus Robin. What's happening over here?
There's a knight on e6 that is offering itself. Yeah, the knight is offering itself.
Dragon to g4, hitting the queen. Oof, there's so many pieces in the center. I mean, with the knight on e6, you would want to be white probably. But the rook on f1, that's also open. White seems to be doing better here.
So, do you think black wants to play bishop takes knight now on e6?
I think at some point you're going to have to get rid of that knight. Unless you can, you can't even castle, so you can't get a rook close to the knight. You could give up a rook for the knight, that would have been ideal. So, that knight is stopping everything. So, is c6 possible though? Because the knight has a check on g7. I don't know if you can tolerate a knight like that on e6 for so long. So it seems like Justin has got something going for him here.
What about queen e1 now?
By the way, Robin is down to 15 seconds. She's under heavy pressure. Doesn't seem good for her. Dragon to g6 play. And how is Justin going to handle this? Is he going to play it slow, take his time, or is he going to put his opponent under pressure? But okay, let's get back to the 4-board view. And okay, I see Dr. Queen got the pawn back on a4. Lance has established a knight on d5. Knight e5
Yeah.
played c4 is weak. It seems like a very interesting endgame. Seems like black is a bit more solid there. White's pawns are scattered.
Yeah, the key question is always what are the weaknesses? And at this stage, black has got 2 pawn islands and white has got, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 pawn islands.
And white's king seems a bit more exposed all of a sudden. So,
Yeah.
looking good for Dr. Queenie over there. She's going to have to grind it out. And let's see. We've got Vero. But Vero managed to play g4 there because that pawn phalanx over there has disappeared of black. But what's the status? Wait, what? I haven't started counting the pieces. Is Vero just down a lot of pieces? What's happening? Maybe he had to sack a piece or something.
No, there's 2 rooks on the board. Black has 2 rooks. Or am I looking wrong?
White has no rooks.
White has no rooks
And
here.
one
So
knight. It seems like Robin also just lost over there. So tough luck there to Robin. She's having a tough one. And Justin, I'm sure that knight on e6 has basically decided the game over there.
yeah,
Just to recap, I just want to check out that game, the last few moves to see why black resigned. So dragon g6 was played. Rook takes f6, threatening the dragon. Takes on e4, queen takes e4, and that was basically okay. Robin having 1 second left over there, and the knight just dominates. The e file was just gonna blast open at some point. So well done to Justin. Tough luck to Robin, and Justin gets onto the board. Justin might have felt Justin could have been on 2 out of 2 because he was a piece up against Khadija. But of course, he missed a dragon tactic. But now Justin is in the mix as well. So we have 2 games left.
yeah. I'm by Dr. Queenie's game now again, and she's moving those queenside pawns now.
I just wanted to check here. Are these guys still playing? Yeah, you said his name. He's still playing against Rosamund. Seems busted, but okay. Anyways, let's get back here. Let's see. So Lance has just played pawn to g5, but he in the meantime has lost the pawn on c4, right? So things I wanted to say have quieted down, but those pieces around white's king still don't seem to want to quiet down. So and the knight on d5, I don't know how long he can actually stay established over there. Pawn to f5, very fighting like move over there. Trying to dislodge the knight on d5, basically. What can white do? Seems like white is on the edge here. He's down on the clock as well. Rook f1, pinning the pawn. Does black play g6 or what does black do over here?
Calvin, I would actually go g6 with the threat of rook takes knight in some lines, because then you also have that fork on e3.
Aha. Rook takes knight immediately. There we go. Why not?
Yeah.
So the knight on e3 will be covering f5. So, and I heard a result over here. Okay, Vero has also lost to Khadija now. So all boards are done except for Lance and Denise over here. So what happened to Vero? He won his first game against Robin. So Vero is on 1 point. Khadija is on 2. And I think that kind of secures Khadija qualification. I think with 2 out of 3,
Yeah.
That should secure your qualification. And Lance is on 1 point. Denise is on 0. So this was a crucial one for Denise. She has to stay in contention. It's Rook and Dragon Bishop versus Rook and Dragon Bishop, and black is a pawn up.
Okay. King g6 now or something?
Pawn to g6 was played.
Oh yeah.
So opening up some dark squares though, but is there anything here for white? Rook e1 perhaps? He goes rook d1. Okay. I mean dragon bishop to e5 is also in the air there. And Denise gives up a dragon bishop for the rook. Very interesting decision. Now we have dragon bishop versus a rook. And the rook to d8. Dragon to f6 played very quickly, protecting d5 and hitting the rook on d8. I'm not sure if that was necessary by Denise to give up the dragon bishop. It's a very committal decision. She was in charge, and it's a different dynamic. But now she's aiming 8 for a2. If black gets that a2 pawn, I mean, I've seen some situations where the rook is just stronger with the space. But Lance is pushing d6 and he's threatening d7, which will mean that the king won't be able to protect the d8 square. So d7 is a very dangerous threat over here. Rook a7 or what? No, king e6. No. King e6 doesn't stop anything. Oh my word. Is the pawn just running through?
Yeah.
Rook a7, d7 anyway. I think that was, I mean, with Denise having so much time on the clock, I think that was a bit of a hasty decision. They're giving up the dragon bishop, underestimating that dragon bishop of Lance. I think Lance was in big trouble. So
yeah, I think Calvin, that's why I didn't want to play g6. I wanted to play king g6.
The dark squares, yeah, opening up over there g6.
Because now that square comes to haunt black. Because all of a sudden pawn to d7.
There's nothing you can
d7.
do.
Yeah.
What a quick turn of event here. Rook takes a2 and d7 is coming. And d8 is unstoppable. So, yeah, I think Denise maybe just got a bit too excited over there. She shouldn't have given up the dragon bishop for the rook. Maybe she just missed dragon f6 because, I mean, if she picked up the d pawn, then it would have been a nice fight. Rook versus dragon bishop with a couple of extra pawns for the rook. But yeah, it's all over.
Yeah.
Rook a8 played. But d8 coming. And the dragon bishop, I don't know, I've evaluated it as something like 6 to 7 points, maybe 6 points is about 6.5. So the dragon bishop surely will mop up everything here now. So just to recap, Khadija beat Fiero, and Lauren beat Keegan relatively quickly, and Justin beat Robin. So current standings before we count this last game's result, we have Khadija on 2 points, we have Vero on 1 point, we have Keegan on 1 point, we have Lauren on 1, we have Justin on 1 as well, a lot of people on 1, and then Robin on 0, unfortunately. Robin still need to get off the mark. We'll see in the last game how it goes for her. And we have this game over here. Lance is currently on a 1 point. Lance beat Lauren in round 1. So if he secures this, then he's on 2 points and he secures himself a qualification. And then unfortunately for Dr. Queenie, she will be out just like Robin as well. And yeah, in fact, I don't think White even needs the pawns. White should just get all Black's pawns because you can mate with a king and dragon bishop versus king. That's how powerful the dragon bishop is. Okay, so dragon a5. And pawn to c2, dragon to d2. And I mean, even with bishop on the board, it seems like White should mop up. Okay, the king should just go to c4. But still, Denise is trying. Denise is still trying here. Might be something. I thought that maybe black should go. Oh, but black couldn't go to f3. Black couldn't go to f3. King f3 was not possible. King d3 perhaps was the move. No, but then dragon takes f4 check. Yeah, the dragon is just too powerful. So Lance actually giving up the g5 pawn. I thought maybe he should go h4. Pawn to f3 played. King takes c2 surely. Pawn to f2. F1 square is already covered by the dragon bishop. So surely something like king d3 should be fine. King d1 played. F1 queen, dragon takes f1. King takes g5, and yeah, this should be over soon. And it's a 10-second increment, so yeah, I think Lance is okay on the clock as well. He can actually trade off his last pawn. We might have to see a dragon. Maybe Denise wants to put Lance to the task and force him to mate her with a king and dragon. King and dragon, bishop versus king. That would be interesting to see. But one just tends to get the feeling that I don't think black will even get the opportunity to trade off a couple of pawns. Let's see. Okay, so I'm not sure if Lyndon is with us here. You should just unmute if you have rejoined us.
Yeah. No, thanks, Calvin.
Oh,
I'm also following here. So
okay.
Some interesting stuff here. I was just thinking now that if it was a normal game, then it would be a technical draw there in some cases with that dark square being the promotion square.
Yes,
dark.
in fact, black just gives up all of his pawns.
Yeah.
Basically. Yes, that would be very, very cool to do that.
So, Calvin, can a dragon bishop legally mate?
Yes, I think he can. I would actually love to see 2 pawns get traded. I would love to see that from a technical point of view. I think that's what Denise wants here, just to ask Lance to show us the mate.
Yeah, because there was a world champion that couldn't mate with a knight and bishop, eh?
Yes, that's a ladies world champion, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So sometimes you got to test the players, eh?
Yes. Bungie says king and dragon bishop can mate, yes, in the chat, but not easy, he says. So I wonder, how it compares to king and bishop versus king.
That's like that 50 move stuff, Because I mean, the player having the dragon bishop will have to think very carefully how to cover all the squares.
Yes, and yeah, I mean, I think Dr. Queen is also just playing around with some potential stalemate ideas if Lance just pushes up the pawn carelessly. And interestingly enough, if white had the opportunity to play dragon f7 now, it would be mate. So mate of course threatened, but the black pawn needs to run now. And now if the h pawn moves, you go king g6, and the black pawn needs to move again, and then dragon f7 is mate. So there we see a mate, and Lance spots it. So we see a dragon checkmate on the board coming. Okay, interesting. Well done with the finish there, Lance. Tough luck there for Dr. Queenie. I think Dr. Queenie is not going to be too happy looking at this again afterwards, because she was in control. She was a pawn up in the dragon, bishop plus rook endgame, and I think she hardly exchanged that dragon bishop off for the rook. And yeah, there you see the potential of the dragon bishops, guys. I think they may be a bit worth a bit more than the rooks. So very unfortunate there for Denise, but that's how it goes. Denise is on 0. She joins Robin on 0. The two of them are on 0. So I don't know if it's a commentator's curse, Dr. Boa, but yeah.
No, it's new. I think that that bishop f6 one, we didn't realize how strong that move was actually at the end that Lance played there.
And Lance,
because he was covering d5 and attacking the rook on d8 all of a sudden. I think that's maybe Denise just being inexperienced in dragon positions, but otherwise, I mean, but I think the game of the round must be Lawrence win against Keegan. Lawrence just a couple of tactics, flurry of tactics, and so forth, and then I think Khadija spotted some tactics there on the pawn on e4 as well. So well done to Khadija with the 2 points as well.
Yes, so yes, just to sum up now. So Khadija is on 2 points. Lance has actually joined Khadija also on 2 points. So Lance and Khadija both have basically secured their qualification towards the semi-finals. Remember, guys, it's 2 players that go through to the next round from each group. So Khadija is on 2, Lance is on 2. Then we have a flurry of players on 1 point. We've got Viero on 1 point. We've got Justin on 1 point. We've got Keegan on 1 point. Am I missing someone else over here?
Lauren is on 1 point.
Lauren also joined on 1 point, so she stays in contention. And then we have Denise and Robin on 0. So
Kelvin, the question is, who's joining Algeria and Germany in the semis?
That's a good question. Yes, that's a good question. So guys, we're going to take a quick break. Okay, guys, we are back, and we are ready to start with our last, or in fact, the players have just started with the last group stage game. So let me just sort out the boards, and we are quite happy to have Dr. Boa with us for the morning. He joined me for the first 2 rounds, and we're happy to have him here for the 3rd round as well. And then later on today we will have another special guest joining us. So let's see, board 1, we can choose here. The top of the board here of the list is Dr. Queenie versus Banshia. That's Denise versus Lauren. And then board 2, okay, let's just get the board back up. Okay, the guy disappeared for a second now. Let's just get it back up. You click one thing wrong, then you have to pay the price. Let's see, let's just get that back up. Okay, we have that back up. Board 2, we have Khadija versus Robin. Board 3, we have Lance versus Keegan. And board 4, we have Viero versus Justin. So all to play for here for most of them. Like we've mentioned before, guys, the 2 players qualify. So just to tally the points here, we've got Khadija on 2 points already qualifying. And let's see, let's just to mention the two groups. So group A is Denise, Lauren, Lance, and Keegan, and group B is Khadija, Robin, Vero, and Justin. So from group A, we have Lance on 2 points, and group B we have Khadija on 2 points, and then Lauren is on 1, Keegan is on 1, and Denise is on yet to score, and then we have Vero and Justin both on 1, and Robin also yet to score. Okay, so basically in group A we have Vero and Justin fighting it out to get the second spot. Both of them on a 1, trying to catch up with Lance. And then in group, sorry, that is, okay, I've got it a bit twisted over here. Khadija is in group A, in group B, sorry. So Lance is on this side. Okay, so in group B, we have Khadija on 2 points, and Vero and Justin is fighting it out to join her. And in group A, we have Lance on 2 points, and Lauren and Keegan is fighting it out to join Khadija, to join Lance, sorry, on that one. So let's see, who is Lauren playing? Lauren is playing Dr. Queenie, Denise over there. So Denise would love, of course, to get something from this event, and it's almost a must-win situation for Lauren if she wants to get through. We seldomly see draws. And then Keegan, who is Keegan playing? Keegan is playing Lance, and Keegan, of course, also needs to score to stay in contention here. Lance, the pressure is off him. And then Vero, who is Vero playing? Vero is playing Justin. So that is a head-to-head one over there. So the victor of that game will basically join Khadija with the qualification. So that's an important encounter, direct encounter over there. Still some potential for tie breaks in the other group. Okay, what game do you have on your view, Dr. Boa?
No, Calvin, your message hasn't come through yet on the chat, man. So
okay, let's
but
just
maybe
resend it.
Just get started. I will fall in.
Okay, let's just resend it over here. Okay, do you see it?
Yeah, that has come through
Okay,
now.
there we
Thanks,
go.
Calvin.
I think there must have been some glitch over there on Zoom. So we'll get Dr. Boa to join us now. So I think let's start off with that critical encounter, which is board 4. That is dynamic duo versus super scary name. That's Justin versus Vero. Both sides fighting for qualification. Knight takes B6, I believe, was played. And both sides long castling over there. Let's try to get the individual boards going as well.
Calvin, so what is the format after this?
So
how do you determine the tie breaks?
So tie breaks, we have 3 tie breaks. First tie break is direct encounter, and second one is most wins, and then third is actually a 3 games blitz match if there's still no one pulling through. But I mean, at the moment there's no draws, so I think the first and second one won't immediately get someone to go through if if there's a tie on in the other group. In this one there will be, or in fact, you know what? If this game is a draw, then we will see some blitz going through. That's the one scenario. But okay, the likelihood of draws is cut down considerably. But we have seen draws before. So let me just sort out these games. And we see the players are focused. I'm sorting out Lance's visuals now as well, and I can see Lance is focused. Maybe he's just getting himself into focus mode over here.
Yeah.
For the next stage. Okay, somehow this board has disappeared on the other screen. Make sure it's there. Okay, that's a bit strange. Okay, we've got some glitch now with the fourth with this individual board on that side, so I'm gonna skip that one. Anything that catches your eye, Dr. Baba? Any game specifically?
No, I think Lauren seems to have a good feel for the pieces already, and so she's certainly somebody that has taken to this game, and then it seems Khadija has also gotten a good feel for that. So it seems like we will have to have more of these type of tournaments for the players to to get used to it.
Yes.
If you put it that way, because otherwise, you'll find that they're not really, other players are not used to the variant.
Yes, no, experience does count for a lot. And
Yeah.
I mean that's with normal chess as well. You often tell your students, if you are a coach, that must go out and play. Doesn't matter how much studying you do, you must go out and play the events. So players are gaining experience at least.
Yeah, that's a key thing. Okay.
Okay, I'm getting the individual boards ready finally. Got things going. Okay, right. So who shall we look at? Dr. Queenie and Lauren is on board one. Let's have a look. See here. So Dr. Queenie's got the white pieces H4 just played. And dragon to H3 played with check. Seems like Dr. Queen is going to drop the queen because it's a double attack. But I mean, oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing that stops dragon takes G2. So the dragons, yes, Lauren is definitely dangerous with those dragons. We've seen it in the previous events. But there's still a hope left. We've seen in these type of tournaments, as long as you keep the dragon bishops on the board, there's still something in it.
Yeah.
So seems like Lauren is somewhat in control there, about to capture Denise's queen. If we just skip over to the next game, just to get a quick overview of all the games, we've got Khadija versus Robin over here, and both sides haven't pushed the F pawn. Once we're forward, Khadija just long castled. Robin's got a knights out. What's going to happen? Dragon A7, Dragon D7 and long castle, or what will be the case? White not pushing the D pawn, trying to just get the king out of the way. Robin still needs a tempo to castle. So everything seems in the balance here as well. Nothing too heavy at the moment. If we go on to the third game, Keegan versus Lance. Yeah, Keegan also in a must-win situation. Very much balanced. Seems like, I don't know, looks like an Italian over here. Keegan versus Lance.
I'm trying to just to get a feel now, Calvin. Is the knight on c6 under attack there?
Knight on c6. How? Are you on Keegan versus Lance?
Yeah, Keegan versus Lance.
I don't see. I mean, there's knight on e7. There's knight on c6.
Yeah, so that's yeah, they moved now. I was just probably
okay.
a second game.
Okay. So Keegan has just played dragon bishop to c2. He's probably got long castle in mind. He can play d4. He can play h5. And how's Lance gonna get that queen out of his? He's gonna put down h7. So Keegan seems slightly more comfortable. Yeah, I just want to get to this last position before we start looking further at whatever position. Just to get to this critical game as well, which is Justin versus Vero. Both guys playing for qualification here. And White has only one pawn in the center with e4. Just played king b1.
Very dynamic chess here again from the two players.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, how did he get his? Where did he move his light square bishop? His dark square bishop?
Maybe to e2 or something. Or where was the? Where was it? Yeah, it's an interesting one here. How Justin developed, but seems like Black has got something here to work with. Can't you maybe take on e4 and go d5 perhaps? Sometimes you want to take on a2 even at the right moment, or you feel like there has to be something here. Maybe even d5 straight away. No, d5 blunders e5. Maybe Khadija would have played pawn to g5 here. g5 and then pushing those pawns. But question is, what is Scariest Name gonna do? Super scary name. Okay, so everything in the balance over there. Okay, Scariest Name. Vero goes for g6 there. I didn't expect that one. That seems a bit slow to me. I feel like you should be taking advantage of White being slightly. And Justin just refuses to push any pawns. He goes rook he1. And
I suppose he's feeling he feels he's playing hyper modern. He may as well continue.
Yes. So okay, back to the four board view, and yep, everybody is doing their thing. So I would imagine that Dr. Queenie and Robin, Dr. Queenie and Ice Queen over there has got Ice Queen has got no pressure on them, but other players, in fact, Lance and Khadija shouldn't have too much pressure as well, since they qualify. But
where's Dr. Queenie's queen?
Yeah, she lost it on g2, right? But okay, I think the more concerning thing is a king that is open. That's the more concerning thing, because she got she's got an extra dragon bishop. And those knights are also kind of holding things together. I would have been more happy if they were a pawn on g3, but now, I mean, Black surely should play g5 at some point. So, looks a bit scary there for White with the open king. Knight to d4 though, and okay, Black didn't want to drop the h8 rook. Black is getting slightly tangled up. I don't know if I'm seeing things, but there's tension there. Dragon to e3. And you can't really take the knight immediately because after queen takes d4, then the dragon bishop on e6 gets released. So Denise is still fighting there. And then the next game we have Rosemoon versus Ice Queen. So that's Khadija versus Robin. Knight c5 just played. Is the knight doing anything on c5? That's really dangerous at the moment. Not sure, but the dragon bishop for white might go to f5 at some point after long castle, perhaps.
But isn't that e6 square undefended at the moment?
Yes. So queen, but the queen, does the queen want to be on the, yeah, the knight is very, maybe the knight is more menacing than I actually realized. So yeah, it seems like white is actually much better. Queen c4, maybe rook he1 coming. Looks very scary for Robin. So Khadija is in control, it seems, and you can only see easy moves from white's point of view. Queen c4, dragon f5, or dragon b3, rook he1. You look at black's position, not too easy to make a decision, especially with knight e6 looming. So
shouldn't black castle at some stage?
I mean, maybe you should just give up the rook for the knight or something. I don't know. Maybe take on d4 first. Queen e7 played, stopping queen knight e6. Maybe black will just short castle. So okay, also interesting over there. And then Keegan versus Lance. These guys are playing a classical game. It's a game, it seems. Nothing hasty. Just or am I missing something? Is this game actually moving? Maybe I'm missing it. Let's just check. Oh, this game has actually gone a long way. It has moved. So there's always one game that seems to be delayed here by me. So I've updated it. Black has just played the rook d8. And seems like Keegan is controlling the light squares. Seems like Keegan is using Petrosian style over here. The dragon bishops.
Now can white not play pawn to c4, or is that just a bad move?
Maybe you're allowing the dark squares to be weakened. I mean, if you don't have to, but perhaps c4 will clamp down on things. Maybe knight on e4 will also look good at some point.
But isn't d5 just hanging?
Yeah, but Keegan just castles. He says, okay, you can grab on d5. I might have b4 or rook e1. Maybe Keegan just wants to blast open the position. So should black accept? Does he have a choice?
Which did he castle king side or queen side?
King side.
Okay.
King side. So what to do if black doesn't take the pawn? Okay, let's say black takes the pawn. What does white do?
Isn't it then pawn to c4? I'm just trying to get that diagonal going, Calvin, on a4 to e8.
Okay, I see what you mean. Now that could actually do something over there. I was looking at pawn to, yeah, but d4 is too slow. I don't know. But d4 also opens up the dragon bishop to g6. So I mean, c4 is there, d4 is there. I think it looks scary for black. Lance needs to. I mean, you can't even play queen f7 here because of dragon e6. So queen f6, knight e4. So black doesn't have too many choices here. Yeah, I think Keegan has got the position that he wants. So interesting. And if we look at Justin versus Viero, so dynamic duo versus super scary name.
Sure. There's 3 pawns on the c file.
3 pawns on the c file. And white has got a knight and a dragon, bishop 4, queen.
Sure.
So there we have an exchange, an interesting exchange. And I like that. And Justin is actually hitting on c6 now. So interesting stuff over here. Dr. Queenie's got the king in a bit of a spot over there. king goes to g3. Yeah, it looks very awkward. So many pieces in the center. But I mean, I think that's what she should do. She should just complicate it and hope for the best. I think I should update Keegan's game here, perhaps. Okay, it's actually on the par here. So Black did capture on d5. Lance took a few deep breaths and took on d5. So now let's see what will Keegan play. c4 or d4?
Well, c4, black still has knight b4, ne?
Knight b4, don't you just take the knight?
Yeah, you take the knight. Yeah, you take the
Just
knight.
take the knight, yes. So c4 is on the cards. d4 I also like, because it opens up the diagonal to g6. What else?
Yeah.
I think those are the
And it opens up the e file.
Yes. So yeah, Keegan intuitively sacking that pawn, I think. Let's see what he's going to come up with. Justin, on the other hand, is eyeing his opponent's king over there with the dragon, bishop, and knight versus the queen. I think
There's also
yeah.
There's also sometimes depending on if that queen on f8 moves, the move knight e3 for black.
Queen f8, knight e3.
Yeah, if the queen moves to e7, then black can play knight e3 because isn't there a7 to g1 tactics maybe?
Oh, which game are you now?
I'm at Keegan's game against
Yes.
Lance.
Yes. Okay, I see. Okay, Keegan played c4. C4,
yeah, so
knight
there
f6.
Knight f6. Attacking the dragon bishop.
So that's the only hassle about the dragon bishops. You also need to take care of them. I mean, White would love to just continue attacking, but now, do you want to give your dragon bishop up for a knight? And just looking at Justin's game here versus Vieira, I mean, these guys are moving fast. And it seems like Justin has picked up another exchange. He's got a dragon bishop and rook versus a queen. So instead of a knight, he has a rook now. And he's got a couple extra pawns. So I think Justin is in charge over there. Okay, coming back to the other games at the top. Let's see. Dr. Queenie is still... Okay, White won there, by the way. There's a result. And Vieira resigned. So that means Justin... Seems like Justin's qualifying now. So Justin picking up a crucial victory over there. Justin is on 2 points. And Vieira losing a crucial game there. So it seems in the group B, Justin has joined Khadija. So yeah, coming back here, it seems like Lauren is on the hunt here against Denise. I think knight on f4 dropped. We have rook g8 also in there, but okay, the dragon bishop on f3 is hanging.
Isn't bishop takes f4 now? I mean, bishop takes pawn, f4, and then king takes bishop.
Bishop takes? Okay, queen takes f4 was played.
Oh, okay.
So Lauren giving up the queen for the dragon bishop. So what's the situation? I mean, are we back to level? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean that exchanges over there. If Lauren moved the queen, then like you said, then the dragon bishop would fall on f3. So now we see a normal chess game, guys. Takes on d4, and probably a rook takes, right? The rook takes d4, and if we count the pawns, Dr. Queen is actually a pawn up in a double rook and knight position. Okay, d4 is d3 is slightly weak, but we have an interesting chess endgame on our hands over there. So I'm very impressed. Dr. Queenie held out over there and actually got into quite a decent position, pawn up in an end game. If we switch over to Khadija versus Robin over here, Robin just played the dragon to g6, and again we see a knight on e6. So Robin,
Yeah.
that e6 square for Robin, something to maybe have a look at it for future.
Yeah. You know what you'll have to do is like they did in Queen's Gambit, Calvin, and put a e6 board on the ceiling so Robin can see the
Yeah,
e6
no,
square.
definitely. Definitely we're gonna have to stare at the ceiling a couple of times. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we see a couple of times now the knights being quite menacing in this game. In this game, the knights, once they find the outpost, they can be worth much more than 3 points, because who can get rid of them?
Yeah.
So dragon g6, and Khadija, what is she gonna do now? She already has the option to taking. Do you take the rook on d8?
No, Queen a7, and you try to do some strange stuff there.
Aha, Queen a7 has to be played, surely. Maybe she's just double checking. She has about almost double Robin's time. So Khadija taking a time over here. Just if she can pick up the victory, yeah, I think she's on full score for the preliminaries.
Yeah. No. Then she's doing that steal thing, yeah.
Yes. So yes, she's definitely timing things over there. Let's just check out board 3 over here. We've got Keegan versus Justin. Keegan opening up things. Not Keegan versus Lance. Lance's king still on e8. But Keegan doesn't have what's happening here. Lance has 2 dragon bishops. Keegan has a queen and a knight for it. What an exchange.
Sure.
So dragon bishop, I would say, let's call it 6 points. 6 plus 6 is 12. And the queen is 9 plus the knight is 3 is also 12. More or less. Now it just depends on how harmoniously the pieces work together, of course, and the structure.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting that this e6 square is again the one that is important here.
Yes.
Because if that queen on g4 gets in there, it could be curtains. I'm just thinking, Calvin, knight f3, rook e1, putting pressure on that file.
Knight f3, rook e1 in Keegan's game.
Keegan, yeah.
Yeah, but
against Lance.
How are you breaking through on e5 though? That's structure.
No, am I not? Is the knight on f3 not attacking the dragon bishop on d4?
Yes, and then the dragon bishop has to move. And then what?
So then what?
Maybe the knight should go to e4. I don't know. But woof, this is complicated. Where do you start assessing? But I like knight f3, but maybe I don't know actually. So complicated. This is what we're looking for.
Yeah, and rook c1, just putting pressure on the backward pawn.
Yeah, I like that. I think rook c1 is good. And if white can pick up that a4 pawn, you never know. You know, I think the struggle in this game is just to assess how important is the long-term factors versus the short-term factors. And the short-term factors can just explode. The long-term factors, you don't see it as often. Coming to realization at the end. So okay, interesting game.
Yeah, black could actually castle, eh?
Black did castle, right? In the Keegan versus Lance, I think you should just refresh.
Okay.
Because black
castle,
and Keegan just played queen d1. So what is that? Is he going for the a4 pawn straight away?
Sure. You can do the a4 pawn.
Dragon bishop takes b5 is possible though. So these dragon bishops look quite nice. Lance low on the clock though. Lance needs to pick up the pace. He's aiming for full score as well in this one. Keegan fighting for qualification, since Lauren is also fighting hard against Denise. Let's check out the rest of the boards. So Justin picking up a crucial victory against Vero, and he's secured himself qualification. And
after a slow start.
Yes, and Justin was a piece up against Khadija in the first game, so he's put that behind him and he's bounced back quite nicely. Rook takes c4, Dr. Queenie seems to takes, and the e4 pawn is dropping though. And then h5 will be dropping. Seems like Dr. Queen has got something here. Rook takes h5. Surely black cannot exchange rooks. Maybe after rook takes h5, we will see rook f8. So Dr. Queenie will be 2 pawns up in this endgame, but the thing is just that all the pawns are isolated. So there's some technical job still left there to just dodge the forks and the tactics and all of that. So yeah, Lauren is on the ropes here. She needs to get something. But on the other hand, if Lance beats Keegan, then yeah, you don't know how things are going here. So everything's still in the air in group A.
So Calvin, in the Khadija versus Robin game, that Queen A7 came in, eh?
Aha. And we see the king on E8 now. Black's king is on E8. The king made a run for it. But okay, Dragon F4 check. And what's the current situation? Black is an exchange down. And,
which game are you looking
at? Khadija versus Robin.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, and I just saw. Okay, Lauren exchanged rooks, but she's picking up the A2 pawn. But that H4 pawn looks too dangerous. I don't believe that knight can't catch the H4. So I think things are not looking good for Lauren over there. She's gonna have to run with a king or something.
Sure, but can that knight come back in? Can that knight come back in time? It's like that puzzles that they give you when you start to play chess. Yeah, can the knight come back in time?
And then you sit for half an hour on the puzzle, and yeah, Lauren's got a minute on the clock, so I think it's too difficult. And even if you get there, the white king will. But okay, she's got an outside pass pawn herself, Lauren. So
yeah.
But I think it's very tough for her in that situation.
She's got to stop the F and the H pawn, eh?
Yeah, very, very tough. And Robin comes up with knight to D2 check.
Sure.
Is the knight gonna be there forever? What's
No, the pawn on D5, queen takes D5 may come next, eh?
Okay, because king A2 falls for queen D5 check. King A1, there's always a knight B3 check somewhere.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Okay, Robin finding some resources.
In fact, Calvin, that king A1, queen takes D5 would be possible because of knight B3 check and maybe some, what do you call it, tactics on the diagonal there or something.
Exactly. So, okay, Robin staying alive, and Khadija sees that and she says, okay, rook takes knight. She just gives up the rook and takes, king C2. The dragon bishop needs to move. B7 is hanging, so maybe that's a good decision from Khadija, just trying to quiet things down.
Yeah. But it's interesting, Calvin, the two players that got nothing to play for is still playing as hard as they can.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Interesting indeed.
That is resilience, eh? Because both Robin and Denise are Olympiad players, so they're fighters by nature.
Yes, of course. And I think we should move on to the next game. Who is this? Keegan and Lance. So Keegan has got the nice light square blockade going on here. And this is such a fascinating position. Lance has got a lot of pawns. If Lance wants to win, he's going to have to get somehow his pawns mobile. Knight takes d6 on the board. Is that... Okay, maybe Keegan says he's just going to snatch these pawns. C5 hanging, A4 will be weak. So it seems like Lance is going to have to come up with some kingside play over here. Either E4 and E3 at some point. F3 or something. Lance needs to come up with some kingside play. Because
you'll have to start moving. Yeah, you'll have to start moving.
Yeah, his king isn't in that much. Even though rook c7, rook takes c5 was played, and the rook c7 might be something black needs to watch out for. Okay.
I see there's another game here called Yola versus Wakeful East.
Oh, okay. Okay, so seems like someone's utilizing the demo site already. Of course, guys, this Paradigm Chess 30 is coming to chess.com. This is a chess.com interface that we're using. So let's see. We're back to the 4-board display over here, and Denise is showing some in-game technical skills over there. She needs to push a H pawn through, and so she's got 2 passed pawns. So it's 3 versus 2 in a knight endgame. And on the other hand, we see Khadija's king running to b3. Robin can't castle anymore. So that's still, I would say, white is in
Maybe
control.
why can't she castle kingside, Calvin? Because it is paradigm chess. You've got to change your paradigm thinking.
Yeah, if only, yeah, if only. So, but she can probably play king f7. But Khadija's planning on playing d6, I think. Khadija's trying to open things immediately. She's on the hunt over there. And then here with the Keegan versus Lance. Lance has started pushing the e-pawn. And that, I think, is the most exciting game for now. That is definitely the Dragon Bishop game to have a look at. Since Keegan needs to win. Lauren also needs to win, but it doesn't seem likely now from Lauren's point of view. Okay, and Khadija scored there against Robin. Too much to handle over there. I think the whole king run and not being able to get the h8 rook into the game eventually from Robin's side. Tough luck there for Robin. And well done to Khadija. Khadija actually scoring full score in this preliminaries group stage. So, interesting games. We've got 2 left. Let's quickly just pop in here by Denise and Lauren. Denise has just played 95. Lauren plays b5. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say Black can't win anymore. So, somehow, is there anything Black can do? I mean, f7 is just coming, right? So I think it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
I think it's over. So, Denise is getting something from the tournament at least. Some consolation over there.
Yeah, I think the more these players play, the more they will handle stuff. Because I mean, there was no reason. I mean, I thought Lauren was a queen up there in the middle game type of thing.
Yeah, but I think hats off to Denise there for just staying in the game there and
it's also just good for the new players to know that they can score a victory. You know.
Yes. Okay, I think the result is in over there. Things has been happening here. It seems like Keegan is in charge here with the Queen versus Dragon Bishop. Keegan might just so Denise won there. Well done to Denise. Keegan might just transpose here.
Yeah.
Actually, no. So, he can't give up the Queen for Dragon Bishop yet. E4 drops. Final game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Queen is just too strong here. I think Keegan is gonna mop this one up here.
No, I think I mean, surely one of those queenside pawns will go queen if Keegan doesn't want to mate.
H4, H3 maybe.
But yeah, well done to Denise there for just staying the course.
Yes,
and,
well done.
Just showing there, and obviously Khadija. 3 out of 3. I'll have to be very careful. Maybe Khadija takes my nickname of the accumulator, Calvin.
Yes. You're gonna have Keegan finish it off in style over there. Gives up the queen. But yes, no, well done, Khadija. Definitely accumulating the points over there. And Keegan secures himself a victory. That means Keegan goes on to 2 points, and there will be no tie breaks, guys. This is it basically. Let's do a recap of the points, and if we can get the players as well, just to listen in. All the players, can you guys hear me?
Maybe they can unmute Calvin, because there's no games on.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear.
All right. So just to give the scoreboard, just to give the scores here. So we won't need any tie breaks. In Group A, we have okay, briefly checking the tiebreak system, I would say Keegan is at the top of Group A with 2 points, as he, with a direct encounter, he goes past Lance. But in fact, Keegan and Lance qualifies. Let's just give the qualification first, and then we'll sort out the positions. So Lance is on 2 points, Keegan on 2 points. They qualify to the semi-finals, and then Lauren is on 1 and Denise on 1. So Lance and Keegan goes through, and then in Group B we have okay, Khadija is on full score over there. Well done to Khadija. She's on 3 out of 3, and Justin scored a crucial victory in the last round to secure himself a qualification as well. He is on 2 out of 3. And then Vero is on 1 out of 3. And then Robin is yet to score and had a tough tournament over there. Okay, so basically the players that qualify: Lance, Keegan, Khadija, Justin. So that's our semi-finals, guys. We will sort out the direct the matches. I just gave you the qualifiers. So I believe, let's just check the schedule over here. When do semi-finals start? So I think we're gonna have a break, and then semi-finals will start at 12. Is that correct? I think it starts at 12. So we will have about the hour break, guys. So, but well done to everyone. I think it was a very entertaining tournament. Tough luck to those who have to exit the event, but we've thoroughly enjoyed it. And yes, we will be able to watch everything again on YouTube when we post it over there. But yes, and thanks of course to my special guest here in the commentary box, Dr. Boa. It was a pleasure having you with us. Anybody want to give any comment before we get off?
Vero and Khadija must still unmute the Khadija, how did you do 3 out of 3?
No, I said I will revenge, right?
You're doing it in style.
We had quite the same position as yours, right, Robin? But this time I said no. Her sister did it for me. No more checks.
It gets tricky. It gets a bit trickier. Well done on your full score, and well done to everybody that's made it through to the finals. And yeah, it's been fun. I hope to have live tournaments like this where we don't have to leave and actually have a full Swiss.
A full Swiss, yeah. No, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now I want to know if Vero was playing with music, would he have qualified?
No, actually it was. But today I just played the worst ever. I think against Robin, she had it. If Robin got the rand for every time she missed the win against me, she'd have like 50 rand.
Robin, there's a $50 in there. And then so it's basically Calvin Belvelshaus joining Algeria and Germany. And then is it Welgemoed there, Justin, coming to save South Africa. So we'll see on that one. But well done, guys. Very entertaining. Robin, you must just watch out for the E6 square, eh?
Yes.
There was a knight on E6 there in 2 games as well. And Keegan playing some positional chess in this last game here after getting some Lauren.
So,
I'm happy I beat the champion of my group at least.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So thanks so much. This was very entertaining. And yeah, to the viewers out there, we will be seeing you guys in an hour. We'll have an hour break, and then we will continue with the semi-finals and then finals later on today. Thanks, everyone. See you guys next time.
Good luck, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Bye.